Today I will show you how you can add a bunch of cool effects to your image to make it even more interesting. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode. Today we will have a lot of fun adding a bunch of cool effects to the image that I choose for today to make it even more interesting, to make it more dynamic and to make it pop even more. So before we start, I just want to say that this episode is sponsored by Storyblocks. So thank you Storyblocks for that. Storyblocks is a great stock website where you can find a huge amount of royalty-free, studio quality HD and 4K videos, After Effects templates, audio, motion backgrounds, even 360 videos. So for example, if you're like me, if you're busy a lot, you don't have time to create your own After Effects intro and outro, or you don't know how to do it, you can just go to Storyblocks, search for the certain After Effects templates that you need, and in a matter of couple of minutes, you can create something like this. Also guys, if you're working for a client and you have a need for a B-roll, ideally it would be to take your own B-rolls. But for example, you need to have footage of an Eiffel Tower and you're not living in Paris or even in France and you don't have time to go there, or maybe you don't want to spend the money for airplane ticket, hotels, etc. just to take some footage of an Eiffel Tower. You can go to Storyblocks, search for Eiffel Tower and choose the footage that you need among the many they have there. So as I already said, Storyblocks is royalty free, so that means that you can use their footage wherever you have a need to use it, like YouTube channel, commercial purposes, personal projects. And they're adding new content on regular basis, so that means that you will always find something new and fresh there. Check out the Storyblocks, you have the link down there in the description, and enjoy the content there. Right guys, now let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Right guys, we're here in Photoshop and this is the image that I choose for today. This is my friend Kraka. You already saw him in a previous tutorial that I show you how I created the robot attack photo manipulation. You can check that out on the link right here. And this photo manipulation is basically made out of two images. The Kraka itself, as you can see, and the background. So just two layers. Actually, he is in a group because I have him on one layer and gun muzzle on another layer. I already show you how to create this fire muzzle effect in a previous tutorial, so just go there and check it out. So this is it. Now I will show you how you can add a bunch of cool effects on the top of this image to make this much more more dynamic, more interesting than it's right now. So let me show you really quickly. This is just some kind of wall or something, some paint on the wall that I found online just for this. So this kind of textures can be really cool to add it as overlays on top of your images. You will see it later. So we have a lens flare that we'll use. This is one of the lens flare that I have in my lens flare pack that you can find on my website, or you can go to my lens flare video tutorial and check it out how to make your own. You have a link right here. Then we have shattered glass right here, and we have these sparks on a black background and another shattered glass, and that's it. So let's start by adding, I don't know, let's start by adding maybe a glass. So you can go just with two different types. When you have a glass on a black background, you can just go and copy it. Let me show you. Copy it, put it right here and just put the layer in a screen blending mode, and that's it. That's the effect. You can put it behind the model and this is cool. Another way how you can use this is in a normal blending mode, but then you need to extract to remove the black background like I did right here, and this is the effect. It's similar, it's not the same. You can see now this is normal blending mode, this is screen blending mode. So in screen blending mode, some things will be semi-transparent, as you can see right here, on a brighter background, and on the dark background it will stay the same. In normal blending mode, everything will be like regular opaque. So depends what kind of effect you want to achieve. It's cool, both of them are cool. So I will use in a normal blending mode with a layer mask. I will just go and say apply layer mask, and this is it. This is my glass. Okay, and it's behind the model because I want to have impression that something is breaking behind him. Maybe he is responsible for that or not. It doesn't matter, but this is cool. Right now I will go and choose another effect. I will use these sparkles. I will just select them, copy them, and paste them right here. So sparkles. And I will put them in a screen blending mode to get rid of the black color. So if I go from normal to screen, that's cool, but as you can see, it's not completely transparent. We can see some parts of the black colors. That's because that black color is not 100% black. So what we will do here, we will go to image, adjustment, levels, and we will just boost the blacks, as you can see, and the square is gone. We can boost the highlights too, something like this maybe, and this is it. And I don't want to use the whole effect. I will use just a portion of it. So I will just use this part right here, and I will position this layer somewhere here. Put a layer mask by holding Alt or Option key, click on the layer mask to add a black one, and I will use a brush, really soft brush, this soft round brush, and with maybe, yeah, I will use 100% opacity. I will just paint back those sparkles. So I just want them to have them somewhere here. Maybe I don't want here, I just want here, and I can move it wherever I need to have it, like this. Maybe I want behind the glass, or I want just above the glass. Maybe here. It's cool. Now what I like to do, I will go and paste again the same layer because I already copied. I just have it here, and I will put it above the model. So just above the model, so to have this layer in the front of the model. And I will use the same. I will use Control or Command L levels to make the black color 100% black, like this. Boost the highlights a little bit, like this, and that's it. And before I put it in a screen blending mode, I want to rotate it, Control or Command T, right click. I want to flip it horizontal. And let me see if I flip it vertical. Yeah, I will flip it vertical too. So like this. And now I want to spin this to make it, you will see blur, filter blur, and radial blur. And I want to spin it. Okay. And let's see, let's try with the 10. If I go with the 10, let's see the effect. You can see I have a spin here, and I want just to use some part of the spin right here. Maybe 10 is enough. We will see. So I will put it now in the screen blending mode. Press Ctrl Command T and rotate it, and I want to use just a portion of it. So maybe something like, let me see, something like this would be cool. Okay, and again I will place a black layer mask by holding Alt or Option key, and just with a white brush I will just paint the effect that I want to be visible here. Okay, like that. And if this is not bright enough, you can just duplicate this by pressing Ctrl or Command J, right, to have more visible here. But I want to, with a black brush, to delete the effect here and here because I don't want it there, and also I don't want it here. So I just want this to have on my image, just to have a little bit more interesting part here. So this is cool. Maybe I can make everything a little bit bigger by transforming it a bit and place it somewhere here. This is cool. Also, I can rotate if I'm not satisfied with the position, etc. Maybe I want it something like this, or however you want it. You can always later refine it or do it again, etc. So this is just me showing you what you can do and giving you some ideas, and then you can do it on your own however you want. So let's leave it like this for now, and let's go and add even more effects. So we use this, let's use this glass effect. Let's put it above everything, put it in a screen blending mode, and move it down below. I just want to put it somewhere here to have impression that he shot something and that was shattered, some kind of glass or whatever. So this is cool. You can always rotate this, choose a part that you like to be visible, maybe something like this, etc. So this is cool. Right guys, now as you can see, this is before and this is after. It's already, the image already looks much more dynamic and interesting, but we need to add even more motion there. We'll add some kind of motion blur and zoom blur, and you will see we will have more impact with the image. So let's go first with this glass effect. I will right click on this and convert it to smart objects so that I can add a smart filters and be able to change the value of those filters later if I need to change it. So you will see, I will go to filter blur and I will go to radial blur, but this time I will not use a spin, I will use zoom like this. And let's start with 20. 20 is too much, but I will show you why. So you can see the glass is shattered, it's flying all around, but 20 is too much, and now I don't need to go to undo and then apply the filter again because I have it on a smart object as a smart filter. I just need to double click on radial blur and maybe go with 10. So let's see if 10 is okay. 10 is a bit too much. Let's try with maybe 7 or 5. I will try with 5. Okay, and this is cool. All right, I love the 5. So before and after, a little bit more dynamic, more motion in the scene. This is what I like here. Also, we can do the similar thing with this part of the glass here. So I will go just filter, blur, and radial blur. Maybe I will do the same 5. And let's see. I didn't put it in the smart object because 5 is okay. I don't need to undo it or whatever. So this is cool. Just a bit of motion. And now what I like to do, I like to add a motion of the model itself. So now I'll show you one cool trick how you can do that too. Let's go to the model, right? I will make a copy of him and just press Ctrl or Command E to create just to merge everything into one layer. And now I will erase this part because I don't need this part at all. Okay. And now what I like to do, I like to control click on the layer. So press and hold control click here and go to filter, select, modify and feather. And I want to feather it a lot, maybe 200 or more. Let's use 200. And as you can see, I feathered my selection, I feathered the edges. And now I will hold Alt Option key to load a black mask inside, so like this. And if I press and hold Alt Option key and click on the eye here, I will have only this visible. So this is what we did right now. We selected the model, feathered the edges. I don't need this, so let's erase it. Feather the edges and erase everything inside. So we have nice, smooth, feathered edge of the model visible. And why did I did this? Well, you will see. Now I will go here and just move this like that and put it below the main model, not inside the group, but below like this. And we have this shadowed effect, like he is moved from this position here, but still doesn't look good. So we will make it better by adding some kind of motion blur. So let's go to filter, blur, motion blur. And this is it. Now just choose an angle, this is a good angle, and choose the amount of motion blur. So as you can see, this is cool. Maybe like this. I will press OK. And we can leave it like that, right? Or we can colorize it with adjustment layer, hue and saturation. I will clip it to affect only that layer and we can press colorize. And now we can maybe go like more like reddish orangey tint like this. This is cool too. So let's leave it like that for now, and maybe we can lower the opacity a bit just to have a subtle effect of this movement like this. This is really cool. So I will leave it like that for now. And also what I like to do, I like to play with the background. So let's expand this a bit, go to the background, and I will go to filter, blur again, radial blur, and go with the zoom, and maybe 10. Let's try 10 on the background to make that zoom motion effect. Yeah, that's cool. So I have a background in zoom too. This is cool. And let me see, this looks really good for now. What we can do more, we can add the lens flare, we can add some maybe smoke. We can add some smoke on the bottom right there. So let's go here behind below the crackle layer, create a new layer, name it smoke. Okay, and I just want to add some kind of smoke behind him and below on this lower part of the image. So to add a smoke, I will use my custom made smoke brushes. If you don't know how to create your own, you can go and watch my tutorial about that on link right here, or you can go to my website and purchase this set of brushes for just $1. You have the link down there in the description. It's your choice. Right, so now I'll use brush, right click and choose this set of my cloud dust brushes, and I will use this one. And let's see, let's use black color as a base, 50% opacity, and just add some clouds here. Then I will use white color with 20% opacity, bit bigger brush. This is cool. And I can put this here. Okay, this is better. So this is just a little bit of the smoke. I'm now using a black brush to mix the effect, and just a bit of the effect. As you can see, before and after, I really love that kind of a smoke down below. At least for me it's a bit better. You don't need to do it if you don't like it, but for me it's cool. Okay, and this looks really nice. Now let's go and add this texture back to the image at the top of everything. So I will paste it here, rotate it like this and make it much bigger, right? And now I will just change the blending mode to screen, and you can see it's already really nice effect, but I don't like this blue color, so I can just desaturate it with Shift Control U or Shift Command U on a Mac to have this kind of effect, just an overlay, some kind of a texture with the lights at the top of everything. So before and after, I really like this. Or if I don't want to desaturate this, I can just go with Hue and Saturation Adjustment Layer, clip it to affect only this texture. Okay, and let's just group this. Control Command G. This is sparkles. This is smoke, etc. Glass. Okay, and this is another glass, number 2. And here we can just change the color. So maybe I want more like, woo, this is cool, more like orangey, reddish tint, or maybe on this side, maybe more like this. And I just want to lower the saturation. This is cool, and maybe to lower the opacity a bit. So play with those sliders, and this looks really interesting. I can even move it more up and down, maybe make it a bit bigger. So this looks really, really cool. Before and after, before and after. I'm pretty happy with this. Now let's go to a lens flare. So this is a lens flare that I made. It's a part of my lens flare pack. Or again, you can purchase it at my website. The link is down there in the description. And I will add a lens flare right here. Make it smaller with Control or Command T. Something like this. Put it in a screen blending mode. And he will eat the lens flare. Now, I will put it here. I'll put it here on the brightest part on his goggles. Make it a bit smaller. Maybe, oops, maybe like this. We will see. And also I will change the color. So adjustment layers, hue and saturation, clip it to affect only this layer, and more like this. Lower the saturation. I want to lower the opacity, just a subtle effect. Let me see. No, I want to lower the opacity of this. Okay, wrong layer. Now this is cool. Maybe I should make it a bit bigger, like that. Just like a lens flare at the top of everything. This is cool. So let me see. Before and after, yeah, it's adding a bit of cool warm touch on his head. So this is cool, guys, and this is basically it. So before everything, it was just, oops, not like that. It was just like this. So this is the starting position, and this is what we made just by adding certain layers, some overlays and some light effects on the image. Image looks much more interesting. Now what I like to do to merge everything in one final layer and to go to color grade it a bit, and we are done. So let's do that. Let's go all the way up, Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E on a Mac, merge everything into one layer, and I want to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and here, you know, if you're following this channel, you know that I really love to use the Camera Raw Filter to play with colors. So I like to add a bit of contrast, and then I like to go to Split Toning and add some kind of bluish color in the shadows, more just the shadows, and a bit of bluish in highlights, just a bit. So something like this, before and after, really cool. Also, I like to add vignetting, right, like that. And also, I like to open the shadows. I like this texture slider. Now it's too much, of course, but a bit, and clarity is really good for this kind of images. So clarity, maybe a bit of this haze. So maybe haze it a bit, something like that. I will lower the saturation, boost a bit of vibrance. Maybe I will boost the highlights a bit. And this is before and after, really cool. I can go to radial filter and just add a bit of brightness right here. So as you can see, I just want to add a bit of brightness like that. Shadows. This is cool. Like that. And this is it. Let's press OK. So before and after, really nice, but this is not it. I will go now to Filter, Nik Color FX Pro, and this is the plugin that I use a lot, basically all the time, to do a final color grading and some sharpness and some, you will see some contrast, etc. Here I like to go with the Pro Contrast and with dynamic contrast, because dynamic contrast will preserve the highlights and shadows. It will not blow out like regular contrast, you can see. So a bit of that. And I will press OK and wait for a few seconds for Photoshop to apply it. Alright, and now I will go again to Filter, Nik Color FX Pro, and I like to go with a detail extractor to extract some details to make them pop out a little bit more. So here, detail extractor, you'll see a crazy effect, but I don't want to apply it everywhere. I want to reduce the effect a bit, like this. And I will press OK, wait again a few seconds for Photoshop to apply the effect. Alright, and now I will again add a black layer mask by holding Alt Option key and click right here. And now I will use a regular soft round brush with maybe 20 or maybe 50% opacity with white color, and I will just add the effects on some portion of the image. Maybe this is too much. I will use 20 and the black color to remove the effects from some portions like this. Okay, so before and after, yeah, just a small pop out. This is something that I like. And I can merge everything again into one layer. Select all the color grade layers, press Ctrl or Command E to merge everything into one. So let me see, before and after, before and after. I can go again into Filter, Nik Color FX Pro. Actually, no, Filter and Camera Raw. Let's go to Camera Raw to add a little bit more vignetting, and basically we are done. So just more darken parts around the edges, and I can sharpen it a bit like this, holding Alt or Option key, and everything what is white will be sharpened. So I'm choosing the amount here, masking the parts, and this is it. Let me see, maybe add a bit of color like that. And this is it, before and after color grading. So this is something that I liked. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I really hope that you liked this episode and that you learn a bunch of cool and interesting tips, tricks and techniques from this one that you can later use in your own images, in your own projects. So you just saw how you can make your image more dynamic and more interesting just by adding some cool effects in it. And now it's up to you to practice, experiment and have fun with your own images. Also guys, if you have any questions regarding to this episode, please leave it down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer it. Also guys, if you like this episode, if you appreciate this content, just press the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already, and also ring that bell to get notified about all the future episodes. If you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, you can do it by visiting my Patreon page, the link is down there in the description, and also you will get some things in return like my PSD files, etc. Just check it out. And also make sure to check out the story blocks, you have the link down there in the description too. Great guys, have fun experiment and see you in my next fun episode. Bye bye.